From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up! Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
and this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill
One ball, corner pocket.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi.
and Corey Clark.
That's right. We're here. We're live. It's Wake Up Warchant Live, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, as well as our good friends at the Luna Coffee, thelunacoffee.com. LSU week has made it. The game that we've all been waiting for. We've been talking about all off season. We only have to wait a few more days, and we're going to get through the next hour together, and it's going to be amazing. We, being myself and Corey Clark, senior writer for Warchant.com, the ultimate Seminole sports source. Come on over. Join us, please. There's so many of you. We're growing by the day. It's awesome. But come on. Don't be scared. $1 for how long, Corey?
Well, it's for an entire year, but we don't know how long the deal's going to last. So you need to take advantage when you can, guys. You don't want to don't be a fan later when this team is 4-1 or 5-0, and you're like, oh man, I want to get all that content. I want to be able to interact with Corey and Aslan and Ira and Gene, and Tom, but I don't want to spend $100. Yeah, you could have had it for $1 and you blew it. So time's running out. So hurry up.
That's right. Team practiced on Wednesday. We were not able to watch. They're installing some really secret stuff. But others, they're getting ready for the big game. It's fine. We get it. We'll be out at practice on Thursday. And then the two guys on the screen will be hitting the road soonly thereafter to get all ready. But we are, as always, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill in Tallahassee, Florida. cptallybar.com is the website, or you can always pull out the phone, camera app, QR code, go right to the site, and put your order online to go pick it up. But once you walk in there, you're going to be like, wow, it's pretty cool. This is why Corey always hangs out. Hey, where's the table that Corey Clark always sits at? And then you can sit there where Corey Clark always sits at.
That's the beauty of me, Aslan. I'm like, I travel. I go to different parts of the bar. I don't just have my own set table. I like to be in different areas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Spread your magic everywhere.
I do. Sprinkle a little fairy dust everywhere. That wasn't a great phrase. But either way, yes, I like to sit at different places at Corner Pocket.
Gotcha. If this was a show was 20 years ago, I would have had a really good segue from that, but I can't. So we'll do this. If you're going to be out there in New Orleans, come on out Saturday before the game and hang out with Tom Lang, Corey Clark, Jeff Cameron, myself, Ira Schofel. We'll all be at the Howlin' Wolf.
Stephanie will be there.
Yes,
I think Kim might be there.
Yes,
Jamie, Tom's wife, might be there. So Kim is Ira's wife. Yeah, it's going to be a whole Warchant gang. Well, a lot of the Warchant gang anyway.
2 to 5 o'clock local time out there. The Howlin' Wolf. It's in the quarter. It's on your screen. If you're listening to the podcast, Howlin' Wolf. Just type it in your phone. Get directions. Come hang out with us. It'll be pretty sweet. All right, Corey, we don't have anything to talk about when it comes to practice because we're not at practice today. But you know what, man? People are bringing juice. I just got back from the gym. A little bit tired, your guy. Are you going to work out at all in New Orleans? Or are you just going full? Is it like Lent for you or whatever? You're just gonna. It
depends on what the gym at the hotel is like. I plan on doing something, but I assume we're going to be doing so much walking that I'll still be able to stay in shape. But yeah, I just got back from the gym too, Aslan. I didn't feel the need to brag about it, but I did as well.
Oh, sorry. Shout out to our guy 904 Nole. He's going to come hang out. Leaving at 5 a.m. from Jacksonville to drive to New Orleans to make it to the Warchant meet and greet. I'm introducing myself as 904 Nole, LOL. First one on us, man. First one on us. That's a trek. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly right. Thank you very much, 904 Nole. I don't want to know your name for real. Like when you get there, don't introduce. I don't want to know your name. Just you're 904. Where is that, Aslan? Is that that is Jacksonville, right? That's the 904. I don't know why. Again, I said this last week. I always thought it was the 229, but that's just Valdosta. It is. But anyway, 904. From 904 to whatever that New Orleans area code is, buddy. Get there safely.
504 is in New Orleans.
There you go. From 904 to 504.
Preferably if you can maybe kind of lurk in the shadows so we don't even see your face. So we just hear your voice and you're 904 Nole. I think it'd probably be optimal for us. So
we're like a Blake Bortles jersey. That'll give it away.
I did a little bit of a spin earlier.
Whoa, Joel D.
Because Joel Davis is here, and he's dropping 200 because he's a pillar, and it's LSU week. Let's go! What? Every week I go to edit this podcast. I'm like, man, I can't believe people listen to this show, like the live YouTube onto the podcast, because I yell, man, and I try not to yell too loud, and I can't find the right sound on the horn. But man,
But you
it's
want to
just
be
so
excited. You want to show your excitement, man.
it's reinvigorating, man. This is crazy. I'm in my house just talking Noles, Joel Davis, Macho Man Randy Savage off a top rope elbow right on here. By the way, this will be in attendance at the Howlin' Wolf. I just ask you folks to show some discretion, know who belongs on the pillar, and then what you maybe have to do to get on the pillar at some point. We're not putting everybody's name on this thing. Not everybody can be a champion, Corey, right? If you're not elite, you're not elite.
Right. I mean, if you're watching this, we love you and we appreciate you. You know that, guys. Yeah, we want to give a little special. These people have given us a lot of money, and what better way to honor them than a kind of a pretend 1.5 foot pillar that they can sign. We do what we can at Warchant, gang. We do what we can. Joel D, if you guys don't know, is one of the great newcomer boosters that Florida State has had in recent years. He's like the I don't know, man, like the Azarie Thomas of boosters. Like he's come in and made a splash right away. Shane too, as well. So we feel at Warchant, we feel kind of responsible for that we got these guys on the right path to giving money to a good cause. Not this cause, which is a great cause, but also the Florida State athletic program. Right, Joel D, you're the man, buddy. I can't wait. I assume he's in New Orleans, right? He's got to be there. We can't wait to see you, bud.
He's over in Defuniak. It's right next door.
Yeah, man, it's no
excuse.
30 minutes away.
Cody White asking us, have you seen the trophy the winner of the FSU LSU game gets? It's nice. I have not. I'll see if there is a All-State Louisiana kickoff trophy. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the game. You weren't able to make it onto the Warchant report, Corey, so it hurts my feelings a little bit, but you had a busy day ahead of you, so we'll forgive you. Who's got more to lose in this game? Brian Kelly or Mike Norvell?
Oh, well, 100% Mike Norvell. Brian Kelly still gets a pass. He's taken over a program that's 11-12 in its last 23 games and had a losing season last year. And he also, it's not going to matter by October of this year, certainly by October of next year. He's got a little more goodwill probably built up for what he did at Notre Dame. And, we know Mike Norvell was good at Memphis, but it was Memphis. Brian Kelly got Notre Dame to the playoff, got Notre Dame to a top 10, top 5-ish team. So you know that he can coach at this level. LSU fans know he can coach at this level. Whether he's good there remains to be seen. It's not an automatic. But Mike Norvell, the jury's still out. So I think it would be a huge win for him.
All right. Can't quite get it to full screen, but there she is.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty.
I'll add that. Very normal.
Norvell's going to be carrying that in his arms as they hoist him off the field. Or actually, no, it'll be Fitzgerald hitting the 46-yarder at the horn. He gets to hold that thing up on the podium.
Okay. I do have a kicker involved in my pick, which will be on the Warchant report. So do check it out. Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I think Ira kind of, I don't want to say zagged, but I think he and Tom kind of came to a little bit of a consensus that Brian Kelly's got a lot of pressure on him. I mean, this program LSU spent a whole lot of money to pull this guy away from one of the preeminent programs in the nation in Notre Dame. He can't just show up and be like, hey, man, just give me some time. I'll get this thing figured out. He has to hit the ground running. And I wonder, we've talked about this in our group chat here earlier this evening. I'm a little bit concerned because he has talked quite big this entire camp and this whole week, Brian Kelly. He seems very confident in his team. Nearly as confident as Mike Norvell's been in talking about Jordan Travis here the last few days. But, you and I have kind of maybe disagreed or maybe saw kind of a little bit eye to eye eventually on this. But if you're Brian Kelly and they're spending all this money to pull you away from Notre Dame, you can't, right? You can't be like, well, let me get another recruiting cycle under my belt and then we'll see how this thing is going. Like he can't play this thing cautious. He can't be sheepish about this, right? He has to talk big.
Yeah, and I also think he probably does like his team. I mean, he's got guys on that defensive line that, they don't – I mean, I know he had some really good players at Notre Dame. I don't know if he had stuff like this. He certainly didn't have a receiver like this, a receiving crew like this. So, yeah, I think he has a right to feel confident, but I don't – yes, there's confidence in his first year – or there's pressure in his first year, but, I mean, it's not – nobody's going to be out on Brian Kelly if he loses on Sunday. He's got the pedigree to back it up. There will be Florida State fans who are out on Mike Norvell if he loses on Sunday. It just will be. So I think that to me is the difference in the pressure. But the reality is both of these guys have a whole season. Their seasons will not be dictated or defined by this one game.
Timmy says Brian Kelly could go 6-6 this year and still get a pass.
He could go 6-6 the first 2 years. He'll survive. Now, if he starts out that third year 1-2, he's done. But yeah, man, Brian Kelly's taken over a program. Like I said, they're talented. They went 6-7 last year, and 3 of their wins were McNeese State, Louisiana Monroe, and somebody else. So he's not taken over a ready-made juggernaut. He's taken over one that can be there, that has potential, but it's not a great team that he's taken over. They're 3-point favorites, right? Like it's not nobody be stunned if they lost that game.
Hunter Mixon, anyone seen the fake quote from Norvell that LSU fans are posting around? It's ridiculous. I have not. Share it with me if you've seen it, everybody. I'm curious. Are you curious, Corey? After Wes from the Villages says, Big Ray off the top rope, ready for the Noles to roll in NOLA. You curious at all about what that means?
I am curious. Yeah, I am curious. Let's see what it meant.
$500
Man.
American dollars, let's go! Come on, Ray! There he is! It's Ray! Had to add extra juice to the volume on that one.
Dollar bills, y'all.
That's Ray's theme song.
Ray, I mean, let's give him good news, Ray. Okay, so you guys don't know Ray, probably one of the original pillars, maybe the original.
I think he was the original. He was the OG, I think.
Which,
I think he did that before we even knew people could donate.
Yeah. These are tomahawks. If you've already got your name signed on here, you get to put a tomahawk by your name. So Ray, Joel Davis, lots of dudes, Kirk, Noel, Shane, they're going to add it to there. His wife, LSU fan, in-laws, that whole side, big LSU folks. Give some good vibes to our guy so he can handle his drive from Houston to New Orleans in peace. You know, at least quiet them down for a few hours and give them some optimism, Corey. You're our optimism merchant. By the way, Ray, thank you so freaking much, man. Respect.
Ray, you're the best, man. You're the best. I can't wait. So he's going to be at the Warchant party, right? That's what that's saying right there. He's going to be at the Warchant party.
Yeah. What's causing all this? Yes. What's causing all this?
Dungeon. And then he'll be at the dungeon at 10. So that's the Warchant after dark, gang. We got to get all that. We haven't tweeted that out yet. Probably won't. We're going to see. We're going to get a head count on how many of us are going to the dungeon. But that could get a little crazy. The good news is the game doesn't start till 6:30 the next night. So we'll have time to recover from. I can't even imagine what goes on at a place called the Dungeon in New Orleans. But yeah, Ray, look, Florida State has a chance. This isn't an unbeatable LSU team, as we talked about yesterday. All week really. You're catching a break. They do not have a special running back that's at least playing in this game. Their quarterback isn't Joe Burrow. They have very good receivers. Their offensive line is, I don't want to say suspect, but they don't have a lot of starts. They're certainly a question mark. Let's say that. And their secondary. Oh, by the way, I need to go back. Ray, you're the man. Thank you so much, buddy. I need to go back and correct myself. Apparently, the kid from Oklahoma State did make the All Big 12 team, first team last year, media and coaches. His last name is Converse.
Yeah.
I don't remember his. What is it?
Jarek Bernard Converse.
Okay, yeah, Jarek Bernard Converse was first team All Big 12 last year. And look, Jarek, man, you're also all academic 2 years in a row. So you sound like a fine young man. You sound like a good kid. I don't know why the LSU Sports Information Department doesn't like you. I don't know why they wouldn't put that you were All Big 12 in your bio. See right there, Aslan's brought it up. What does it say, Aslan?
2019 first team academic All Big 12. 2020 first team academic All Big 12.
And then when you read that bio there, it says twice named first team All Academic Big 12. So Corey Clark reading a bio, I've read a million of them. I'm like, okay, well, if he had been an All-American or an All Big 12 member, first team, LSU's SID department would have put that in his little write-up, his little bio, but they didn't. They ignored it. I don't know why they don't like you, but if you want to go ahead and let Deuce run by you one time just to say screw you to those guys, just to get because obviously you're pretty good if you were All Big 12 and they didn't even they just mentioned the academics, man. Like the stuff you did on the field didn't even matter. But yeah, even him. So a guy that started 47 straight games, which is incredible, and was an all Big 12 member. Look, man, he clearly isn't the type, quite the caliber of cornerback that you're always worried about LSU having, including 2 last year that were first-round picks. Now, I know Stingley didn't play much last year because he was hurt, but he was the 4th pick in the draft. And then the other kid who's going to be a first-round pick is now at Alabama. Those are the guys you're worried about. The guys at LSU that are 5th-year seniors, they don't have a lot of great players that roll through there that all of a sudden that make it to their 5th year. So for LSU's purposes, for that to be our guide, he's just a pretty good player, I guess. But anyway, so yeah, they're not special anywhere except on the defensive line, and then they have maybe the best wide receiver in the country, but not a great quarterback. So plenty of reasons to be optimistic.
I think that's like the second different venue I've seen Tom Ortner ask about this. I'm probably not. Yeah, I'm probably not going to ask Mike Norvell this, but we can talk about it, I guess. Do we know FSU's game day schedule for Sunday? I asked because Brian Kelly disclosed his, and I found it interesting. And if you didn't listen to Brian Kelly's press conference, apparently what he does for night games, he doesn't like his team cooped up in the hotel all day. So they'll have team breakfast. They'll go to the venue. They'll do like a walkthrough. They'll get some work in, break a sweat, and then they'll go back to the hotel, hang out, and then go back again to the venue to play the game. I don't think that's what Florida State does. Everyone's got their own routine. Heck, I remember like when Florida State, I'll go to away games during Willie's tenure. I'm like, man, I feel like they're getting here kind of late. And I texted my buddy who played ball. I'm like, what time would you guys show up before a away game? He's like, anywhere between 90 minutes to 2 hours before a game. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. So we just hang out at the hotel, and then, then you get on the bus and then go to the, I figured you get there like 3.5, 4 hours early, maybe take a nap in that locker room, but that's the way you prepare. So I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, but I thought Brian Kelly said that they were coming from Baton Rouge the day of the game.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I thought maybe I thought Ira had told me that. Maybe I dreamed it. I probably dreamt it, but I thought he was coming from. They weren't even staying in New Orleans. They were just going to bus over from Baton Rouge the day of the game because it's only like 40 minutes. And if that were the case, he's going to bus them to New Orleans, then bus them back to Baton Rouge, or are they renting out a hotel for like a 3-hour window in the middle of the day? That's when you know the SEC has too much money. They can just rent out 200 rooms or 100 rooms for 3 hours. Ray, you're the best, man. I don't know if I said that, but thank you very, very much, man.
I'll leave you up on the screen here, man. You are the dude. Oh, this guy. Shout out to TJ the Boss.
Dollar bills, y'all.
50 American in the jar. TJ, you got a question, man? You got anything on your mind? Let us know.
Thank you, TJ. Man, that's very, very kind. I can't tell is that a picture or is it a drawing? I can't tell.
It's like a cartoon, I think. Yeah, it's a photo of him that's been created, like animated, and
I wonder if TJ drew that himself or has a friend that's a really artistic person. It's good. Looks good, man.
Our guy Chris Vickers in the house.
Thank you, TJ. Though, thank you very much, man.
Yeah, TJ, I'll leave your name all on the screen. That was rude of me. You get advertisement. You get marketing. Chris Vickers asks, how many sacks does FSU need to win over under 2.5? I like that. I feel like we'll revisit this on Monday, which I don't know how we're going to do the podcast. We're going to do it late, drop it for you folks on Monday. I don't know. Corey, I need to talk about that. I feel like if you show me I just want to say the tackles for loss column. I think whichever team's got more of those probably wins. I think that's probably going to be their better gauge is the TFLs, not just straight sacks, because these two guys, they're hard to sack. But that doesn't mean you're not impacting the game by pressuring them, getting the ball out too quick for what they want to do, forcing them out of the pocket, throwing the ball away, all that good stuff that can come from pressures that doesn't necessarily reflect in sacks. That said, yeah, man, if they have over 3 sacks, I'll put it at 5. If they have 5 sacks or more, I think they're going to win the game. I don't think 3 would be enough to get it done. But I think if you're sacking them 5 times, you're controlling that line of scrimmage. He's running for his life, and you're going to win the game. I'll say, over. They need over that. I know
they need over 5, or they need over 2. They definitely, I think, need over 2.5. Yeah.
Well, you were talking about TFLs. I'm talking about sacks. I want sacks.
No, I was talking about sacks at the end too. You weren't listening, but yeah, I switched it over to I think 5 sacks would be a guarantee.
reading this from one of the writers out there in Baton Rouge. Brian Kelly said he likes to work out the team in the morning before a night game. LSU will go to the Superdome Sunday morning to work up a sweat. That way the players don't stay cooped up inside the hotel all day. So,
All right.
yeah.
Well, if you remember, ask Norvell tomorrow when we get him.
I think he's going to look at me weird. Here's the thing about Norvell. He doesn't want to answer anything directly about like injuries, which everybody wants to know. And then when I ask him a philosophical question, he's like, Aslan, why do you ask me these stupid philosophical questions?
He doesn't say that, though. He's kinder than that. I'll ask it. I'll take the hit. If you remind me, you just got to remind me. I might forget. I'm forgetful in the morning.
Mark C. Johnson, do you think LSU is a better or worse team than Notre Dame, the team that we played last year?
Worse.
Why? They have a better quarterback. They got better receivers.
Oh, I don't know that they got it. We don't know that they have a better quarterback, but they also,
Jack
man,
Cohn,
that guy looked like Tom Brady in that game. But I mean, look, man, Jane Daniels and Russ, is it Nussmeier? They haven't bathed themselves in glory the last 2 years. So they're probably not worse than that kid, clearly. But I think that offensive line is better. I think, and I think that, they're certainly better at safety. For heavens to Betsy, Notre Dame has them at safety. And I just think when you think of what Notre Dame had coming back from the 2020 team, and then the stability within that program and all the coaches coming back, that's what I think that team. You think LSU is going to go win 11 games this year? Because that Notre Dame team did, didn't they? Or they won 10, right?
I think they've got more talent.
I know that, but that wasn't the question. To me, that's not the question. Yes, LSU is more talented than that Notre Dame team was last year. Would this LSU team beat last year's Notre Dame team? I don't think so. I think that Notre Dame team was better. They were better coached, better prepared. They've been around the program longer. All that good stuff.
Why isn't this not popping up?
And Mackenzie Milton lit them up.
Oh, Mac. I think I have to sign out and sign in. What's crazy here is I was looking this up for the Warchant report. Because Jaden Daniels' best year, arguably, I guess, was his freshman year. But then again, 2021 was not a full season.
2020, you mean? 2020, he only played like 4 games, right?
Well, no, everybody in the Pac-12.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So his freshman year in 2019, when he outdueled James Blackman in the El Paso over in the Sun Bowl. Crazy thing is his highest, and last year I think he threw 10 touchdowns to 10 picks. Last year was his highest graded season according to Pro Football Focus. He threw like 5 touchdowns and only 1 pick in the COVID year, and then his freshman year he was like 17 touchdowns, 3 picks. But he goes 10 touchdowns, 10 picks last year and grade out even higher. So it's crazy. I looked at his grades. I mean, dude, Jordan Travis played in a college football game in 2018. They've seen a lot, man.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels has played a little bit more. But I don't know. I think last year was a really hard year, I think, to judge him. If anybody, I think he's got a fresh slate. I don't know how, Brian Kelly's whole knock has been he never developed quarterbacks all that well at Notre Dame. That kind of is what held them back. So I don't know how much he can really develop this kid over such a short time period. But I would just think like that kid, clean slates, I believe in, not for everybody, but man, like Arizona State was messy last year. They had coaches narking on each other and sending in NCAA investigation stuff on one another. And I don't know. I think that kid will probably have a pretty good year, but hopefully it'll wait till after Sunday.
I was going to say it might be hard. I mean, talk about a kid with some pressure on him now. Like Jordan Travis has pressure on him. It's not easy being the quarterback at these places. Try being the quarterback at LSU, the hotshot quarterback. You're 3 years removed from the best offensive season in all time and one of the all-time great quarterbacks in Burrow. And then you had a decent quarterback last year that bounced. So you've got some bigger shoes. Jordan Travis is only filling his own shoes. You've got to fill some big shoes here for the last 3 years. Jordan Travis is just filling Everett Golson's shoes and James Blackman's shoes. You got to fill Joe Burrow's shoes. So there is some inherent pressure that just comes with being the starting quarterback in general. But a starting quarterback at LSU, your first game on national TV, he's definitely going to be feeling some butterflies.
Joe Burr, actually.
Joe Burr.
Carol Palalis, what is Corey actually going to do after the game if we win during his traditional post-game wrap-up with Ira?
Carol, it's a great question. Hope we get there. Hope that's a bridge we get to cross. Got some things in the hopper. But as Jeff said on Seminole Headlines, he thinks I might be trending towards just being a clown. No. Like, I don't want to, because like I was talking about, like, taking my shirt off and somebody throwing beads at me. And he's like, well, you don't want to be a clown, man. Or somebody asked if I was going to dump gumbo on myself.
Right.
And So I get that. I am a professional. I do have a 14-year-old son, and at some point, I have to maybe start thinking about, okay, are his friends going to make fun of him for what his dad does on the internet? That's something that goes into my thinking a little bit too.
Good call.
But I'm not there yet. Probably when he's 16, I might get there. He's still 14. It's I'm not that worried about it. But there's some stuff in the hopper. I got to figure out what it actually will be. But there will definitely be something.
We also have to remember, we have to be cognizant of the fact that we're going to be on the rug. We're going to be on the carpet down there in the Superdome. So we're not going to be on Bourbon doing the wrap up, everybody. So it's not, we're going to be on a football.
Why not? Yeah, we will.
You and Ira can selfie video yourselves. Hey guys,
we're going to be doing it from the dungeon with Ray Pereira and all his sad LSU family.
Oh man, thanks for the question, Carol. Hey, we got Mark in the house. He gets a little soundtrack. Mark Perez, $10. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, man.
For real, yeah. Been a long time listener to y'all. My favorite thing to listen to in the morning. Well, I appreciate that more than the $10. For real. But I decided to join in on the live, and I spent my $1 to join the gang. All right.
The dollar gang, the butt gang.
Man, you're going to love it, Mark. I mean, you're going to be like, man, I'll totally spring for $100 for this to get ready for a national championship season next year. Thanks for joining, man. That's awesome. Everybody, you guys can do it too. It's only $1. The only thing that's standing between you and all the insight that Corey's got up there. All of it. Ira, Tom's observations, Michael Langston's recruiting news, Austin Cox, Jeff Cameron, Gene Williams dropping dot bombs.
You get to ask questions in the Renegade Express. All that good stuff.
Which I forgot about, and I got to like 48 replies. So that's going to be fun. Wait, we didn't answer the question. Hold on. 35-27 Noles. Is Benson 3?
Yeah.
For $1.25 he's got going.
Okay. Hey, man, that'd be good. I would be surprised if any of the running backs got that many yards just because they'd be splitting carries, but maybe my man busts a 50-yarder and a 61-yarder. But yeah, that'd be if he runs for 125 yards, that's really good news. If any of those running backs do. What do you think they're running? What do you think they have to get as a rushing attack minus Jordan Travis to win this game? 130?
Yeah, I was going to say like 135.
Because then Travis probably adds 30 or 40 maybe, and then if he's throwing for 220, 230, you're over 400 yards and hopefully 30 points. Yeah. 35-27. Come on, make it happen, Mark. Make it happen.
We talked about this on the Warchant report with some of our picks. Like, I don't want this to hit the under selfishly because it'll be a boring game. I feel like if you told me, like if you showed me a final score without the team's names on it and you said like 24-21 or a 35-31 game, I'd be like, I want 35-31. I feel like that would be the Florida State winning score. I feel like if this is a lower scoring game, I feel like that will just favor LSU. I think probably that means their defensive line is wearing us out. Jordan's probably not in rhythm because that's the kind of stuff that's got me concerned. More so than their receivers on our defensive backs, at least right now.
Okay. All right, bud.
Will the turf at the Superdome help Florida State's speed? I don't know if we have a speed advantage, though. That's the problem. We might want to.
I was going to say, I think you'd rather be like Notre Dame in 93 and grow that grass up about a foot high. Man, look, they both got really fast guys. I think they don't know. They really have no idea about Deuce Spann and how fast he is. Hopefully he introduces himself to them in a big way. But I mean, Pokey Wilson's a very fast kid. Obviously the running backs are fast. It won't hurt. They'll be fast, but LSU's got fast guys too. And fast guys are all faster on turf.
LSU's defensive ends, confidence level in being able to stop them.
No.
Okay. So just limit them.
Yeah, I mean, don't let them wreck the game, but they're going to make plays. There are going to be times where they just beat your tackles because they're good. They're both probably going to be NFL draft picks, and they're not even the best guys on the unit. That's the Mason Smith kid that's still just a sophomore. But yeah, they're going to be a handful. So if you can limit them, contain them, just don't let them dominate the game, then you got yourself a chance. But they're going to make some plays. They won't get they can get slowed down. They won't get shut down.
Well, do you think Florida State will try to go with a quick pass game? like try to alter who they are, what they want to be because of
I mean, they could.
Ojolari and Ali Gare, they're talented guys, but it's not, it's not Bruce Smith and Reggie White, I wonder how much they'll have a mitigation contingency plan if those guys do take over. I don't think they'll take over, but I think they'll be a handful.
I liked Alex Atkins' answer when he was asked about them this week, and he was like, "Look, man, welcome to big boy college football. You face good defensive fronts almost every week. This won't be the last one we face. Everybody else for the rest of the way are going to have really talented guys on their defensive front, including, Clemson might have the best unit in the country. LSU probably has a top 5 unit. So this is a good a litmus test for where they'll be when they play NC State and Clemson."
Our guy, Sunshine, Gregory Moran, thinks we're gassing up the fan base. Do you really think LSU won't be prepared for this opener? Come on, man. Well, Greg, you go show me the timestamp where we said that they wouldn't be ready. We could maybe talk about it. I don't think we're gassing up the fan base. Again, I think there are good matchups for Florida State. There are encouraging factors involved in this game. New coaching staff.
It's a season opener. There aren't many teams that play great in a season opener. There's going to be some growing pains. That's part of that's why my opinion is if they were playing LSU November 1st instead of September 3rd or whatever, you'd feel a lot more worried about it. Because by that time they'll have everything going, but it's the first game with a new coach. So they're not going to be if they're firing on all cylinders, that would be stunning to me. I'm certainly not saying LSU isn't preparing and they're well coached, but it is a first game in a new scheme with a bunch of new players. There are going to be some hiccups. It's just natural.
So Ray Pereira says Brian Kelly, which he did say in his press conference, you wanted to box up Jordan Travis and not let him get to the edges because that's where he makes things happen and becomes even more dangerous. They're going to try to contain him, so we're going to have to move the pocket, probably at times. And, Ira and I were kind of debating this, whether or not there's any parallel between LSU this year and Clemson last year. I don't think Matt House is Brent Venables. I don't think LSU's front four is Clemson last year, but maybe they're both close, and that really wasn't a very good sort of passing game for Florida State. But then right. Ira, quickly to remind all of us that they've got multiple different receivers they're going to be throwing to. So I don't even know if they have to junk it up and do things like this, even if the offensive line struggles, just because they should have guys that can get off a press. They should have guys that can just get separation. They should have Johnny Wilson, who is pretty much always open because of his size. So I don't know how much you're going to have to try to scheme around for just how strong LSU is going to be. And Norvell said it's all about us. And yeah, it's what every coach says. But what do you think, Corey? Do you think they're going to have to? They can't just sit back and be
correct.
Base and vanilla.
I also think they're not going to just sit back and be vanilla against anyone. They're not going to this isn't that offense. They're not going to say, "Hey, Jordan, just go scan the field, get to your third or fourth read. We'll get you a pocket and just make the throw." He will be on the move a good bit, left and right, with the ability to run or throw. That's part of the game plan. It did not work well against Clemson last year. They did a very good job of containing him. I don't know that LSU has the linebackers necessarily out on the edge to do as good a job as Clemson did there. And also, like Ira pointed out, you got better people to deal with it. But you've got to make them pay. If they're going to devote all that personnel to making sure Jordan Travis doesn't beat them running around the edge, then you've got to hit some plays in the middle of the field and hit some plays, period. You've got to hit some plays with your arm. Make them back that up. Hit them enough with the passing game because you got big bodies that can run in the middle of the field and hit them with those passes, and that'll lighten it up, and then maybe Jordan can run a little bit. But, yeah, I do think they're going to have to throw to set up the run. I do think that once Jordan can make them pay a little bit with his right arm, then he can bust some runs out on the edge.
Yeah, if he makes them pay, that it's going to be a beautiful night for Florida State, man.
And a beautiful season potentially.
Yeah. I don't think LSU's defense. Again, that back seven, that front four. I just don't know how much that front four really can. You win or lose game in the trenches. I get it. I just don't know if they're that dominating week one out the gate. LSU. Again, these are things that just makes you feel a little bit good if you're a Florida State fan. Cannot confirm the statistic on the screen, but according to Mr. Rose here, LSU was 0-6 when their opponents rushed for over 140 yards last season.
Okay, there you go. Well, then we know what the magic number is.
We picked
Get you to 140.
What game are you looking forward to this weekend other than ours, Corey? It's a smorgasbord of games. North Carolina, App State. That's a sneaky good game. Oregon, Georgia, I'm assuming for you.
I mean, yeah, that's the obvious answer. Everybody knows that.
Ohio State, Notre Dame, I think for me.
When is that game?
I think it's a night game.
The Ohio State Notre Dame game.
Scrolling. 7:30 Saturday night.
Okay. Oh, there we go. That's something to watch while we're right before we head to the dungeon.
What about Florida, Utah? Man, Utah better win.
That's a good one too.
Utah better win. Oh, Utah win, please. You guys better win.
And I was going to be interested in FAMU Jackson State for real, but then Jackson State doesn't have any water and doesn't have any AC on campus, which is awful. And then who knows what's going on with FAMU? So that's been a bit of a debacle. But I actually legitimately was looking forward to that game. I don't know how much I would have watched it, but I would have been interested in it. And then I also won a sneaky one, kind of, Aslan. NC State, East Carolina. Are the Wolfpack just going to roll over them? Because, I mean, NC State just doesn't typically handle this kind of stuff well. And so I know it's East Carolina. They have a talent advantage. They should win comfortably. But if they struggle in that game or, God forbid, lose, it crushes the ACC. But also it tells you that it's just never going to happen for NC State. Not that a win would prove anything, but a loss certainly would.
Agreed. TJ the boss, he's back with a question. Shout out, TJ. Who has to be the breakout player for Florida State to win, not including Jordan Travis? Either has to be a receiver or a defensive end, right, Corey? Or do you think tailback?
What about Akeem Dent? What if Akeem Dent gets himself a couple picks?
Okay.
Something like that. I mean, there's literally, you could say 5 people, I think, like Deuce Spann, Johnny Wilson, Trey Benson, Jared Verse, Akeem Dent. Like, if those guys are having big games, that's very, very, very encouraging because of what the impact they could have on games. Like, if Akeem Dent has a great game, that's huge. Jamie Robinson's probably going to play well. And I think Akeem Dent's a good safety. I really do. It's a great test for both those guys because they are going to get tested. But they're also going to have chances to make plays. I mean, again, what'd you say? He had 10 picks last year. Jane Daniels isn't above throwing it up into coverage, especially when he's got the receivers he's going to be throwing to. So those safeties have a chance to make if they have a breakout game, that would be huge. One of those 2 big wide receivers that we've been hyping up all summer, if they can go out and have 100 yards and a couple touchdowns, that would be enormous.
I'll go with either John Football, Johnny Wilson, or Jared Verse. I'd love to have like the mic'd up of either the LSU offensive coach, like Brad Davis, I think, when his team gets off the field on offense the first time, or either like John Papuchis and his defensive ends huddle. Because I want to hear Jared Verse either say, "Man, they can't hold me. Like all night, I'm gonna be ruining this night for them," or I want to hear LSU's offensive line like, "Man, he looks like Tarzan, plays like." I want to hear like who feels who first the most. So I'll go Jared Verse. Jared Verse,
okay.
Be the breakout player. Be the breakout player. Let's see here. What else do we have here? We got a lot. So I don't know which one I want to go to. Does this game count as a sod game? That's a good question. I think so.
Yep. Well, they're an underdog and it's on the road, so it definitely would, because bowl games count. And if bowl games count, then I would have to imagine neutral site games count. I wonder if the Ole Miss game was a sod game. I have to go back and look. Maybe when I walk by there tomorrow, if I can remember, because that's a similar type scenario, right? It was a neutral site game.
Well, I don't think we were underdogs, though.
No, they were a favorite, though. But I don't know if maybe all neutral site games are sod games now. And it's cool that they got so many coming. They still got one next year. Who knows? Why wouldn't you, if you're offered, your first order of business is probably, I love this conference and I always will, but maybe getting out of this conference, the ACC. But if you can't, get rid of the Alabama and Georgia games. Just punt on them. Get rid of it. You don't need these. You don't need to do this to yourself. So hopefully that might happen in the next year.
Okay. I got you. We'll get to Steven's question here in a second, but I do want to remind you all that Corner Pocket Bar and Grill are presenting sponsor. But when we do these things live, we need to be extra amped up, and we are courtesy of our good friends over at DeLuna Coffee. DeLunaCoffee.com. Use that promo code WARCHANT15. You can save 15% off your order. Go to DeLunaCoffee.com, shop up top, drop down to the gifts, and boom, get yourself a bundle. Maybe you're not a big coffee drinker. Well, they also have a hot chocolate bundle as well, with cocoa rather, and you get the tumbler, which is what you really want. I mean, no, I shouldn't say that. You really want the coffee or the hot cocoa. The tumbler is just a fantastic throw in there. You get the tumbler. You get also a little sampler of the Paradise coffee, which will make a full pot. And you're like, wait, maybe I do like coffee after all. And a pound bag of their hot cocoa, all over at DeLunaCoffee.com. Ed, Brett, Courtney, huge Florida State fans. We met all of them. We met them before, but we hung out with them at Hotel Indigo for the pregame show this past weekend. They love this program, this school. They give back to it continually. So support the program by supporting a Florida State-owned business and get yourself some great coffee and a wicked, wicked cool tumbler.
I can tell you this for certain. The owner of Starbucks did not go to Florida State and does not care one iota about Florida State football. Neither does the guy that the Dunkin' Donuts owner, the CEO. They don't care a lick about Florida State football. So quit going to those places. Hit up DeLuna.
Our guy, Big Steve-O, he's back. I believe you guys stated that their linebackers may be their weakest unit on defense. Do you think it becomes more important for players like Micah Pittman and Pokey Wilson to have a bigger game than the running backs?
Maybe like in the slot you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a pretty good advantage with these running backs against these linebackers if you can get them in space. If they have linebackers covering your running backs, whether it's running game out wide, which would be a little tougher, or screen passes and of the like. I think that is one of your biggest maybe the biggest mismatch you have in this game for your offense is your running backs against their linebackers. So I'd still say running backs. It'd be nice for Micah to make a few plays in the middle of the field out of the slot but I don't foresee them doing much with linebackers on Micah. They are going to probably try to cover some of these running backs with the linebackers. I don't see that going well for them necessarily. But I don't know if I guess they are the weakest, but they might end up being good players. They're just so unproven, and they haven't accomplished a lot at the college level.
Oh, and the one dude, I don't know if Mike Jones did a lot at Clemson. Who? Mike Jones.
Yeah. He started 7 games, but he wasn't. I mean, why would you transfer from Clemson, Aslan? That's what I asked myself. It's not like he transferred in from Louisiana Monroe where he wanted to play big time football. He played at Clemson and started at Clemson. And Venables was the coach. What happened there? Why are you leaving, man?
Trying to see where he's from. He played at IMG. I don't know, maybe he's from Louisiana. Like that cornerback from Oklahoma State that transferred in.
Yeah.
He's from Louisiana. So
you're talking about the all Big 12 cornerback.
All academic Big 12 cornerback.
That's right. 2020 and 2019.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for the question, Steve-O. Shout out to Jim dropping $2 in the jar. 31-27 FSU, his prediction.
There you go. So he's hitting the over.
He's
hitting the over, and obviously he's taking Florida State, so he's taking Florida State to cover. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it, man. Let's hope, man. Let's hope.
And somebody just DM'd me the fake quote from Norvell. Somebody made it like on Microsoft Paint. It's Fugazi. It's Fugazi. If you believe that, then I don't know. Then you have a problem or whatever. So Timmy asking, does LSU have a Johnny Wilson in their receiver room?
Well, no, they don't have somebody that's 6'7", but they have probably
Brian Thomas is 6'4", but he hasn't had any kind of listen, man, like we've been talking up Johnny Wilson because he's been playing really well. I've heard like Malik Neighbors is the name they keep talking about. I think he's 6'1". And then obviously Booty, who apparently it's Booty, not Booty. He likes to be called Booty. But Brian Thomas Jr. is their 6'4" stretch, their taller receiver threat that they have. But I haven't heard any sort of, they're hoping that he's going to take a step forward, but I haven't heard any kind of reports from camp that he's been tearing it up the way that we've seen Johnny Wilson.
No, they're different body types, obviously, than Johnny Wilson, but, Kayshawn is better than Johnny Wilson. Much, much better than Johnny Wilson. You are talking about probably the first receiver taken in the NFL draft. He's very, very good. Johnny Wilson is not close to that yet. I know that's not what you were asking, but just I didn't want this to show up on the internet somewhere where we're saying that LSU doesn't have their own Johnny Wilson. Like they got some real dudes in that receiver room.
Diplomat 84. Why we're having a good time, Diplomat. Why bring politics to the fray? If Jordan Travis were injured in the game, do we win another game this season? Come on, man.
I was talking. My theory on Tate is this: say, we don't want this to happen. We're not speaking this into existence. I'm knocking on wood as I say it. Say Jordan goes out for the season, or out for 5 weeks. Well, Tate knows there's nobody else but him. There's no real, like, when you have that freedom of knowing that, man, they're not going to put Duffy in, because he has been better than Duffy. I know you guys don't believe it. He has been better than Duffy in practice. It would be his offense. And after the first game where he probably completely melts down, and it's really ugly, and it does not look good at all, he might make 1 or 2 throws in that game that give him a little, okay, that was what I thought I saw. I ripped it. I threw it with some confidence. I made a play, got a little bounce in my step now. And then as he moves forward, maybe he grows into it. It's just so hard for him right now to find the confidence that we saw in August, or early August to mid-August, and carry that over into a game where he can still feel like that and play like that. He just doesn't have any, and that hurts. But if he could do, you guys know how it is, man. You know how sports is. If you see a shot go in, you get a little more confident. If you see 3 shots in, you get I can't miss. That stuff happens in all walks of life and in all sports. If he could just get a burst of confidence somehow, even if it's in a 40-14 loss, then I think he would have a game where he could get hot. We've seen it, Aslan. We've seen that kid get hot and streak them down the field 3 possessions in a row, and they could win 1 more game. I would not predict more than 1 more win.
Did you want to write that story about him, or did Ira make you write the story? Because I feel like you're going in so much, like you're being so thoughtful to not, be unfair to the kid, which I think saying that you're discouraged as a Florida State fan that Tate Rodemaker probably isn't going to be a solution for you down the road. Like, I think that's fair. And I wouldn't want to hear that, I think, if I'm Tate, but I don't think it's like being mean-spirited. And like, I don't ever want to be mean-spirited when we're talking about these kids' play and maybe not looking in a very favorable light, man. But I appreciate what you're trying to do, man. But listen, like, we've all seen it, and he knows it too. He's got to get better, man. And there's a reason to think that he's going.
Like, can you even get better unless you do it in a game? Like, there's nothing he can do in practice for the rest of his career
probably
that will matter to us, and more importantly, will really matter to him until he carries it over into a game. And once he has just a bolt of confidence and a bolt of good play, maybe that's what it would take. And then he could find himself and be comfortable in himself, because he was so uncomfortable in that game. When he was playing Duquesne, man, he looked so much more comfortable playing Florida State's defense. So anyway.
Look at Gregory, 38-17. Woof. He's going to love that show, though. He'll be the first person to download the podcast. If LSU wins 38-17, he's going to want to hear us talk about it. But it's not happening, Gregory. Cheer up, buddy. Chris Vickers is back, throws $2 our way. Chris, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Very nice of you. So who gets more yards? We'll say rushing yards. Trayshawn, Trey Benson, Trey Toafili.
Ward's my guy, man. I still say Trayshawn.
Okay.
Rushing yards. If the question was overall total yards, I think Toafili could make some hay in this game. They show nothing in this game. The Florida State offense, and rightly so, I guess. I would have liked to seen Deuce get a couple more opportunities, and Johnny too, if he hadn't gotten hurt. But just for their own personal, confidence, not for what the team needed. But they didn't show anything when it comes to running backs doing anything but carrying the ball. And they have some stuff. And Toafili is going to be a really tough matchup for linebackers or maybe safeties to cover, I would think. So overall yards, I think Toafili might have the most from scrimmage.
By the way, Orts back in the crib saying that last time East Carolina and NC State played, East Carolina tore down the goalposts, and NC State has refused to play them until now because of that. So
East Carolina won in Raleigh and tore down the goalpost in Raleigh? That can't be. Is that what he's saying? Or he's saying they were mad that they tore down the goalpost in Greenville or wherever East Carolina is? That they're allowed to do whatever. It's their stadium. But it seems like it's been a while since those two teams played.
Not going to play the air horn for Gator Kirk because he doesn't like it, and I don't have the word chant on my soundboard. Throw 757. Corey, don't do silly stuff. This
don't be a clown, because I called myself a clown.
I know, but still. My idea was going to be maybe like I would throw you a beignet and you would just stuff a beignet in your mouth and just powder.
As I'm talking?
Yeah, that's silly too. Eat a local delicacy, plant a spear, or start a war chant sod cemetery.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I could cut my own piece of the turf.
Yeah, we'll give you scissors.
Yeah. Would they kick us out in the middle? I mean, that'd get the most views the Warchant rap has ever gotten. If security comes and escorts us out as I'm cutting up the sod. Good idea, Gator Kirk. That you might be onto something there.
Thanks, Gator. Appreciate you. True or false? If Trayshawn Ward gets over 100 yards rushing, we probably win the game.
I agree with that. Yeah. Yes. That would be a very, very good sign. If any of them do. Like if the three of them combine for 150, 160, I think it's a very, very good sign.
So, all right. Slick Pulla. Jared Verse reminds him of Peter Bulwer. That's cool.
He's bigger than Bulwer and not as quick, but let's hope he has a similar, Jared Verse is very fast for his size. But Peter Bulwer was like a safety playing defensive end. He was ridiculous. That's why tackles couldn't block him, and he had 16 sacks or 18 sacks in one season. So let's hope Jared Verse has a similar season.
I don't know if Travis is going to make the trip, Gregory.
My guess would be no, but I have no inside knowledge. That's just a guess.
You're limited in who you can bring with you when you travel, but since it is a neutral game and maybe you can bring more, he's been out there. Listen, they got a lot of guys to practice. Sometimes guys aren't making a lot of plays, so we can't talk about everybody. But if you're hoping that some sort of corner is going to be turned with him, I don't know. Maybe try to find another player that you want to invest those hopes and thoughts in. But he's out there,
especially not this year. I just could not foresee that happening this year.
I think CGJ0198 used to be on the old network. I don't know if he followed us over. It's only $1, by the way.
Yeah, come on, CG. Follow us over, man.
What are your thoughts on Brian Kelly not naming a quarterback? I heard the way he, and I was a big fan of it, man. He's very polished. He's very comfortable talking about everything with the media. And I hope Mike gets there. He's much younger, hasn't been under this kind of intense spotlight as much. I'm hoping the more he wins, the more he feels comfortable with his job security and things like that. He'll be a little bit, he's fun loving and everything with us. But when we ask him certain questions he doesn't want to answer, like I get secondhand embarrassment, which people might say he probably gets secondhand embarrassment when I talk.
Yeah, we all do.
But yeah, Brian Kelly just straight up like, listen, man, I picked it out. They know, but I'm not going to tell you guys because it provides us a tactical advantage waiting on that. Florida State has the advantage of playing a game last week. Ours is keeping secret our quarterback, and that's what we'll do. So it wasn't like, I thought I explained it quite well. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Are we up? Should we be mad at him? Like, is he being a coward by not doing this? Because I don't think we announced it.
Well, I don't think the question is even saying, should we be mad at him? It's just like, what were our thoughts on him doing it? And I think you explained it well. Like he's got an advantage that Florida State doesn't. Florida State, I don't remember. Did they name the quarterback last year? No. Yeah. So, Norvell didn't do it last year. They knew Jordan Travis was going to start that game. They didn't name it because why would you? Why not make Notre Dame have to prepare for Mackenzie Milton, even though you didn't plan to play him?
That's a good question. So they're going to start Will Campbell, who's a true freshman at left tackle. Pretty sure they started a true freshman at tackle last year too, and Jermaine quickly chased him away. Would you put Briggs directly over him? He's 18 years old, the kid. He just might not be physically ready. I don't think he's under 300 pounds, though. I'll see how big he is. But that's kind of of all the things that we're not really probably hammering home, I get it, man. They're not going to put a kid out there that's not ready. But still, man, a true freshman to start at tackle, I wouldn't feel all that comfortable that Florida State was in that position, So,
100% you wouldn't. And they have a true freshman that plays tackle that's highly touted. And you would not feel good at all if Armello was starting this game. It's just hard. It's different. I know. I look, man, I think Florida State's best defensive end is Jared Verse. And I would have my best defensive end going up against, like, Jared Verse is strong enough and physical enough and violent enough that I know he's not as big as Briggs. He might not be as strong as Briggs in the weight room, but Jared Verse pushes people around a good bit on a football field. And he should be able to do it with a true freshman, even one as talented as this. And this kid was rated like the best offensive lineman in the country coming into LSU. So he is very talented, but Jared Verse is a grown man and he hasn't blocked a lot of grown men when it matters. So we'll see how he does. But what you have to remember too now, kind of like Florida State back in the day, it's not like he's going up against the scout team and walk-ons at LSU. Like, he's going up against really good players that might be better than Jared Verse. So if he was getting embarrassed every day by
BJ Ojolari,
Gay or the other kid, like if he was getting embarrassed, they wouldn't be running him out there. He must be holding his own with the LSU defensive ends and linemen, and that has to give him a sense of confidence going up against Florida State, because his thought is, I've just done this for a whole month. If I can handle these guys, I can certainly handle what Florida State's going to throw at me. It's Jared Verse's job to prove that that's incorrect.
Well said, Corey. I like
Thanks,
it.
buddy. Yeah.
Let's go to our guy, Jay, in Daytona Beach. We haven't heard from him recently. He did tweet me. I guess the AP wrote a story. I think Ralph Russo wrote a story about Dion and Mike. And Jay's always letting us know about Dion being out there. Jarian Jones, Tate Rodemaker appear to revert back to their old selves despite the new them that you guys see in practice. Accepting this and moving to the next man at those respective positions is probably best.
That's not unfair.
No.
You know, Jarian Jones had a couple really the first
Oh,
half.
wait, of course. I'm sorry. He also adds #respectfully.
There you go. Nice, Jay. I wish you were coming over, man. I'd like to meet you, buddy. I wish you were coming to New Orleans. It's not that far, isn't he? In Pensacola, right?
That's Daytona Beach, Jay.
Daytona, that's right. Maybe it was because I see that's Roy Jones in his picture, right?
No, I think it's Mayweather. No, it is. Yeah, it's Bernard, the Executioner Hopkins, and
Roy Jones. Yeah, so that's where I got confused with the Pensacola. Yeah, man. Look, man. I don't think I don't know that you can coach like that necessarily. If the kid has a really good practice, a really good month of practice, and then kind of falls on his face, his first game action, I don't think you can just punt on him for the whole season. But I get it. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying from a coaching perspective, I don't know that's how you build trust and camaraderie, and what you want out of a position room is if Woodson goes back in there on Sunday in team meetings. He goes, Jarian, I know you had a nice camp, man. You're done. Can't see it anymore. You're done. Like, I don't think that's how you get through to kids. I don't think that's how you have to coach. But in the back of his mind, trust me, Norvell had some thoughts about the way Tate played. And trust me, Adam Fuller and Woodson had some thoughts on the way Jarian Jones played. You could see the thought Norvell had when Jarian had that ridiculous hit out of bounds. So, yeah, I mean, it's going through their heads, and it probably, yes, I can understand what you're saying. I don't know if I would throw Duffy in there right away, but I think the counter to that is, can he look any worse than how 18 looked against Duquesne? And the answer to that is no.
Austin Flowers, hey guys, Noel Dad 4L here.
Okay.
He's over at warchant.com. He signed up for $1. It's crazy. Love it. I feel about this game the same way I did during the season opener against Alabama, if not a bit more confident.
Wow,
Either way, go Noles.
Well, you got to feel like that game. I'm sure Florida State was an underdog but I bet it was by less than a touchdown. Like, Florida State had just won the Orange Bowl. Yeah, they lost the guy named Dalvin, but what did he mean to the team anyway? They had Derwin back. They had their quarterback coming back. They had a lot of nice players on that team, and it just didn't work out once the second half started, and then the season turned out to be a utter disaster.
Ray, you'll hear our predictions during the War Chant report. That's why I haven't made mine yet.
You should probably text Ray yours. I think he deserves that.
Oh, yeah. Let me know, big dog. Let's see what else we got here. Eric Angel's got a score prediction. How about that? Take that one. 34-27.
Let's do it, man. I'm all about that life. That sounds like a fun and exciting game.
We'll post the over-unders probably Friday. Williams Sportsbook will give us our propositions, and then it'll be on the Google document that you guys all did last week, which, by the way, I appreciate how much everybody loves Garnet and Gold. They are the only independently, locally owned and operated Florida State apparel store. They're owned, again, operated by Florida State alums. They've been around forever, and they give us a $50 gift card to give away from the over-unders. And a lot of people wanted me to regrade their tests, and I was like, hey, man, I messed up because I sent out the results, and I had put the over-under was 51 points. I'm like, oh, it hit the over. I said it hit the under, but it actually hit the over.
Oh, Aslan.
I know. And then but I corrected it and then sent it out and then clarified it. But man, I got 5 emails hey man, you got my score wrong. And I'm like, I haven't responded to anybody because I'll say something will probably smart alecky and I want to upset them. It's just like, we figured it out. It'll be fine this time around.
Good.
Speaking of over-unders, Rob Krause, over-under do span 4 catches.
Under. But that doesn't mean he can't have a huge impact on the game.
I'll say push.
Okay. All right.
Which quarterback's going to start for LSU, do you think, Corey? CHJ229 wonders.
I would think Daniels. I think with a offensive line that you're not quite sure about yet, you want to have the more mobile guy. I think Nussmeier can run a little bit too, though. But I just think, man, nothing can beat experience. How many games has Nussmeier played in his life? I know he's been there a while, but I don't think he's played a lot. Jaden Daniels has started, I don't know, man, for 3 years. There's just nothing, even in a new team. I just think when everything else is even, you go with experience.
No, you're getting Nussmeier confused with our guy that quit football from Mississippi, Miles Brennan.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Nussmeier played in 4 games last year. So.
And that's it? That's his whole career?
Correct.
Yeah, man. I would think that the guy that's played in, I'm going to guess Jaden Daniels has played in 28 games in his college career, something like that. You go with that, probably.
Don,
40, maybe he started 40 games.
Who?
Jaden Daniels, he started in 18.
No, he started in 19.
He started in 19. Yeah. So 27 games. There you go. I can always the trip to El Paso and the trip to Shreveport, I keep confusing.
Yes, Don, I am going to be riding with Corey to the game.
Corey and Stephanie, you're not. Yeah, we're leaving. We're leaving tomorrow or Thursday if you're listening to this on the podcast around noon 30. Going to get there in time to have a nice dinner, I think, and then maybe win some money at the tables.
I shouldn't have put this on the screen because I don't know the answer to it, but I remember looking at LSU's roster like a week ago. They did have a couple 6'2" cornerbacks, but I don't think there are any that are on the top line of their depth chart. So I'm sure that's probably like, well, I mean, listen, Johnny Wilson, 6'7", 6'6'2". You have just about the same chance on a decently thrown ball that Johnny Wilson, right?
Well, and Deuce is 6'4", McLean's 6'4", Portier's 6'3", I think. Yeah, you got some bigger bodies that they don't. Whatever size their corners are, they're not that tall, they're not that long. But yeah, it would certainly help them. It'd be advantageous if they had some guys that are 6'1".
Diplomat's here through some dollars.
Dollar bills, y'all.
He likes the intro music to the podcast. Who are some of my favorite artists?
Yeah, Aslan. Who are some of your favorite? What was the last concert you went to?
Man, I don't remember the last concert I went to. Maybe Strung Out back in Tampa. Like I grew up listening to like Blink 182 music and like all the bands in California that spun off of them. I do like some, I guess, like they call it like house music, like not electronic, like but some of that like kind of mellow, laid back stuff. I'm all over the place. Music's always a tough thing to talk about because it's so esoteric. It's so tough to really, Corey could be like, man, Pearl Jam's my jam. And then you get a good feel for what he is. But, and everybody's like, oh, I'm all over. I like everything. What we do, music's amazing. Like when you really think about music and what it does to people.
Yeah. It's great.
Man. It's incredible. Better brawl, Rob Krause asks, the 90 LSU game, 98 Florida, or the 2003 Florida game?
I would say 98 because it got their starting safety kicked out of the game, I think. I can't remember who it was. What was that? Tony George, maybe? I can't remember, but they had a starting safety that got kicked out of that game. And I think Doug Johnson hurled a ball at Bobby. Yes. Is that what they said anyway? Yeah. The LSU 91 was great, though. You can go watch it on YouTube. Is because it was Bowden's 200th win. And so they're carrying him across the field. But a fight is broken out on the LSU sideline as the clock went to 0 because I think a Florida State kid hit him pretty hard right out of bounds on the last play. And so you see the guys holding Bowden, like drop him to the ground so they can go run across the field to get into a fight. Which was, that was a tough team, that 90 team. It was a good team. A lot of tough guys on it.
Does Jared Verse have the speed to chase down Jaden Daniels?
That's a real good question, man. I'm not going to say he does because I don't know how fast Jaden Daniels is. But, when Jordan is running from him, he's not getting a ton of separation. Like Jordan or Jared kind of runs stride for stride with him. He's not as fast as Jordan Travis, but it doesn't look like Jordan Travis is in slow motion or in fast motion or versus in slow motion. He runs pretty evenly with him. So I assume if he can do that with Jordan Travis, he could with Jaden Daniels. But we'll probably get a chance to see that on Sunday.
No, I mean, he's asking if they I don't see them teaching Jordan to slide. Jordan runs, man. He gets away. It's just, he's got a pretty good, again, we've mentioned on the show in years past, when he gets hurt, it's not him running and scrambling.
Typically it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. It's him like staying in the pocket and absorbing something.
Yeah. It's him holding the ball too long outside and letting a guy just get free run at him. Yeah.
There we go. We got it 28-24. Jamel says Florida State. Everything Noles 28-17 Florida State in a very defensive game. That'd be really nice. They'll be ranked if they win 28-17. Carroll's got 31-27.
That's 28.
Sorry, 31-28. Apologize.
Sorry, Carroll.
Yeah. Think about poor Corey. He's got to deal with this all the time. Oh, look at this. Let's go.
Where'd James B come from? The show's over, James B.
It's not over, man. It ain't over. Let's go, James B. What is up? What? 200 American from James. James is a pillar. James.
Yep. Tomahawk coming for you, James B. Your life's work is finally being rewarded with a tomahawk on a pillar in Aslan's living room.
Like Robert Cooper didn't give me these. Gene Williams found these on the internet. These are the real McCoy, man. These are what, at least like we're on the 2013 helmets. That's for sure.
Nice.
James B says he didn't get a notification about the show. Well, we'll be doing this Thursday next week and then Wednesday, the week of the Louisville game. So mark that stuff down.
Yeah. Yep.
Super pumped for the Crescent City, which is also the nickname of New Orleans, and looking forward to the Howlin' Wolf. See y'all there. If you're just joining us here, everybody, the Howlin' Wolf will be the home of a meet and greet with all the Warchant staff. Well, not all the Warchant staff, but most of us. Corey, Jeff, Ira, Tom, myself. Saturday, September 3rd, the day before the game, 2 to 5 o'clock at the Howlin' Wolf, which is in the French Quarter. We'll be watching the Georgia-Oregon game.
Yeah, that's the main one on that and that time period, that window. Yeah.
Can I root for Oregon, Corey, or will that make you upset?
No, man, do whatever you want. It's not going to matter.
Okay.
You like Dilly. You want Dilly to have a nice debut game at Oregon. I gotcha.
That is my guy. Man, I guess everybody just got their notifications. We're just getting an absolute barrage right now of people showing up.
Thank you, James B, by the way. Thank you very much for that. That's awesome. It's good seeing you again. Finally, it had been a minute, and I can't wait to see you in New Orleans, bud.
Austin says, so glad I have a clean car to ride in. Corey's girlfriend that he doesn't deserve had a mobile car detailer come over and clean her car because she knows I'm a diva and persnickety. Yeah. So she's amazing. Corey, tell her you love her.
Stephanie, you know. I don't even have to say the words anymore. Don't even say the words. I just live that life.
This guy. Slick Pulla, Jordan Travis, 4 touchdown passes. That's going to be our big secret. Oh,
well, that would be something. That would be something.
You know, and Gene mentioned this in his game pick, which you guys will see on the Warchant report. Man, if Florida State goes out there and looks good, man, not only will they be ranked, I really think, and I know this is not, St. Joe Burr. I don't know. Maybe it's just me trying to speak into existence, Corey. I really think, man, especially if Jordan has a really good game, and it has to be 4 touchdowns. Man, if Jordan goes out there and has 3 total touchdowns and like 325 yards, 350, I mean, he'll get some traction for like, watch out. This team played well once they put their chips behind him last year. And then now it seems like he's grown, and Mike Norvell is going to drop a good quote or two after they win a game when he plays well. I mean, it really could be there's so much for Florida State to gain if they play well, especially for the quarterback.
Agreed, Aslan. Well said, buddy. Well said.
All right. Sorry, I was trying to be passionate and positive. Corey doesn't even like when I'm positive and passionate. Eric Angel's here, though. What is up, Eric?
Yeah, Eric Angel coming in hot. What's up, man?
Dollar bills, y'all.
91 American. Eric, thank you, man. Eric's name, he's on the pillar too, my friend.
Yeah, you get a tomahawk.
34-27. This show, once the show is over, time to pack the bags and hit the road for New Orleans. All right. Yeah,
We're there. We're going.
We still got to work and grind. Terry Carter.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you very much, man. Thank you, bud. That was very, very kind of you, man.
Terry Carter, looking forward to the game this week, gents. I'm feeling good about this one. Safe travels. Thanks, Terry.
Are you going to be there? Eric's going to be there. James B is going to be there. Ray Pereira is going to be there. Are you going to be there, Terry? I don't even know where you live. I can't Do we know?
Jags? It looks like a Jags uniform.
Is that his Bortles jersey?
No, it's his daughter's got a Cleveland Indians cap on her. Yeah, not the Guardians, the Indians. So I don't know where he's at. I can't tell quite. But shout out Terry Carter. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate
Thank
that.
you, Terry. Thank you very much, man.
You guys be safe there too. And let's talk to each other on Twitter. If we see any speed traps, let's communicate.
Well, that would be us. I think we're one of the maiden voyages. We're leaving before most people, but we'll let you guys know what's the deal is on 10.
Miss Webb Silver Chief, whose game day apparel is top notch, by the way. Saw her walking up to the stadium. Says to be nice to me about giving me a ride, which I
did. I had Stephanie reach out to you on Wednesday to see if you were really thinking about going with us, and so we extended the offer, man. We extended the offer, and here you go. You have to sit in the back the whole time, and you don't get to control the radio or the AC.
Absolutely. I did see somebody trying to get several of the softball stars of the Florida State program to show up to the meet and greet to hammer the over that you'd said on the podcast the other day, Corey.
That doesn't count. I'm talking about people that actually listen to the show. And Miss Webb Silver Chief, I know. I was trying to make it very clear that I know we have female listeners, a lot of them. I just didn't know if they would travel in packs together to go to something like this. Like how I assume we'll have women there. We do at all our things, but they're usually with their significant others. I didn't know if they would be like a group of 6, like a bachelorette party rolling through the Howlin' Wolf at 2:30. I hope there is. That would be awesome. What a story that will be.
And by the way, yeah, James B, 2 to 5 o'clock, the meet and greet. That'll be local time out in New Orleans.
Hey, starting today, starting as soon as y'all are hearing this, we're on Central Time. We're not on East Coast time till Monday night.
C Plucker, what's up, man? C Plucker 99 high again, dropped $17.28.
Thanks, C Plucker.
It's cool. I like that.
Yeah, man.
I tried posting my first post on the Tribal Council, but it was already locked. I even had the dang thing typed up. All right, post it here. We'll read it. It's a Renegade Express question, but we locked it up, and we're running out of time here. Our bandwidth. We're about to hit our bandwidth threshold for the day. What is he doing? He did it again. What is he doing? What are you doing, Joe? Joe Davis, you're crazy, man. What?
People are excited, Aslan. People are excited. He's crazy like a rich fox is what he's crazy like.
Joel, Buffy, what's up, man? Joel, are you coming? You're going to be there.
I thought he said, it was going to be a great weekend, as I thought he said in his first post.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be
he said
there.
He just got his notification. He was making fun of James B. That's pillar-to-pillar humor, guys. You guys wouldn't understand. That's pillar-on-pillar humor.
Pillars just drop bags on each other for their jokes. Their punchline is just a bag. Oh, man. January, man. Will Jordan Travis have at least 2 touchdowns on the ground?
I feel like January man is saying that as a declarative statement. It's not a question.
Oh, okay. All right. How about this? Who scores first for the good guys?
I'm gonna say Pokey Wilson.
Ooh, okay.
Don't know why. Just throwing that out there.
All right. I'll go with Trey Benson.
Okay.
Mark C. Johnson just signed up at Warchant. I'm back.
There you go, Mark.
That's awesome.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you very much.
It only costs him $1. Hey, look, this guy's here now, too. We already did your read, Ed. I promise you we did it.
Guys, this is a very special occasion. The Godfather himself has been kind enough to grace us with his presence. The Godfather. This is his damn house. He lives there. He sleeps 20 feet away.
Can you guys see my armpit? I mean, I'm pumped. I'm excited.
You're sweating. You're sweating through it. Nice.
I'm excited. Ed Lemick's here, everybody. It ain't over till it's over, he said. Because he just showed up. We would not go out before recognizing Ed. Ed, again, the brainchild, the brain man. He's not a child. He's a grown man behind DeLuna Coffee.
The Brain Trust.
DeLunaCoffee.com. Again, Ed, Brett, Courtney, the whole Lemick's family, huge Florida State supporters, alums, and they own this coffee company. That's amazing. Check them out. If you drink coffee, drink that stuff. It'll make your day better. And you're helping out a Florida State fan, and you're helping out the Florida State program because they have a NIL collective they're working with too. It's called Champions Collective. So support them. He recommends oysters at the Atlas Oyster Bar.
Okay.
If you guys like Italian, go to Irene's. Okay. I'm
interested in the Oyster Bar. And Stephanie doesn't like seafood of any kind, so that might be just a Corey solo adventure, like Friday during the day or something. just a little appetizer too. We might go to lunch ourselves. Now I might have a little stomach left over for some oysters, but I'll definitely make that. I'll definitely make that trek. I don't know about Italian, maybe because I think we already got dinner plans. Maybe Saturday night Italian. We'll try to go to Irene's. You're going to be getting loose on Saturday night though, aren't you, Aslan? You're not going to have time to eat.
I'm gonna hang out. I'll be hanging on to you guys the whole time.
Oh, you weren't invited to do that. We want to have some alone time, just the two of us. Clearly,
Okay, I got you.
You
All
got
right,
your Tinder. Does Tinder work in New Orleans, right?
It does. Oh, gosh,
Nice.
fingers crossed, it does, brother.
You should set up like 15 Tinder dates for the Warchant meet and greet. Yeah, like one at 2:15, one at 2:30.
Right. Just a waterfall.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Acme, I think. I'm a big Drago's guy, but I don't know. Maybe I'll check out Atlas and see how close this is to the hotel. Ed, thank you so much, man. It was awesome to see you.
Ed. Thank you very much, buddy.
Your lovely family, man. Timothy Dangerfield. He gets respect.
Yeah.
Dollar bill, y'all. Hello, guys. Here's 50 American dollars. I'm Timothy Dangerfield. My son and I and two friends came down from Tennessee to watch the game last Saturday and had a great time. Just became a booster. If we win Saturday, I'm going to go 9-3 with a record.
Thank you very much, Timothy. That's very kind. It's awesome that you became a booster. They need a lot of them. They have a lot of them. You're trying to add to the depth chart, add to the roster. So that's awesome that you did that. And yeah, man, I would see it. It would be really hard to get to 9-3 otherwise. It might be really hard to get there either way. But yes, a win on Sunday, not Saturday, but a win on Sunday certainly gets you heading in the right direction. Still got a lot of work to do, though.
Clarification from Orts. Thank you, Timothy. Appreciate it, man. I'm glad you were able to make it down from Tennessee. That's a long drive for a game against the FCS team where you had to endure a rain delay.
A real Nole right there.
Then you turn around, become a booster, and then you throw some dollars at us. That's awesome, man. Orts does clarify it was in Raleigh, ECU, tearing down the goalposts.
I mean, I've had a hard time sometimes at these events getting on the field with a press pass. And in Raleigh, they just let you go tear down their goalposts. I mean, get it together, security. What in the world? Were they on strike?
Wine and cheese, Corey. Wine and cheese. Nice pick by Miss Whip.
Yeah, that's probably a solid, very, very solid pick.
A field goal.
With Ryan Fitzgerald scores first. Yep.
I think there might be another
line, Ray. And I'm in the most uncomfortable chair that's ever been crafted, and my left butt cheek has gone completely numb. That's why I'm squirming around like a 5-year-old. I can't get comfortable, gang.
I think I got all of this. All right, well, this will be the last one. C Plucker, maybe email me, cplucker99. If you're out there, email me, aslan@warchant.com, and we'll try to get your question in on the Renegade Express. If not, we'll reply to it. Kayshawn Booty, single-handedly, can he beat Florida State, Corey?
No, but he's very good. And that's only because I don't know that any one wide receiver can beat a team. But if anybody could, it would be this guy probably, or maybe the guy at Ohio State. They're awesome. They're really, really special. They're both going to be top 10 picks. You can't single-handedly, I wouldn't say, but he can dominate the game if you let him. So try not to let him.
Okay, well said. A reminder, if you're going to be out in New Orleans, you should be there probably Saturday, unless you live like in Baton Rouge or something.
You should be there Thursday, really.
We'll have a meet and greet over at the Howlin' Wolf in the French Quarter from 2 to 5 o'clock local time out there. Saturday, meet and greet. Hangout fans from the warchant.com Tribal Council, the folks here on YouTube. It sounds like a lot of people are going to be out there. We'll have the Georgia-Oregon game on, drinks, snacks, Howlin' Wolf. Join us. It would be great. We got one more show for you guys, which will crank out probably when we're on the road. On the way out, though, let's thank everybody. Corey, 904 Noel. He says he'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
Joel Davis, twice. Ray Pereira, TJ Ray. Love you, big dog.
Yeah.
TJ the boss. Tom Ortner apparently dropped $1 in the super chat, so thank you, Tom. Mark Perez, who just joined warchant.com for only $1. Jim, Chris Vickers, Gator Kirk, Diplomat 84, James B, Eric Angel, Terry Carter, C Plucker 99. Joel came back. Ed Lemmix, Timothy Dangerfield. This is
what
awesome.
What a crew. Guys, we're really excited that y'all are so excited about this season. And trust me, nobody's rooting. Well, I can't say that. We're rooting the same level that you are for a win on Sunday in a very good season, because we know you guys are desperate, hungry. We all are. Sunday would go a long way into turning around the fortunes of this program and the way you feel about it. So let's all enjoy it together when Fitzgerald hits the 46-yarder at the horn.
I think LSU's kicker is going to miss theirs. That's my belief. That was my spoiler.
Oh, okay.
It's like Fitzmagic hitting it. Steven Smith just dropped $2. Thank you, Steven. Go shred some gnar, brah. Or is that's BMX? I thought it was like a ski getup. But it's BMX.
I thought it was like a paintball outfit, so he doesn't take any paintballs to the face or something. But you're right; it's probably a BMX.
Well, Greg Moran's in a good mood. Good luck. Go Noles, he says.
There you go, Greg.
Better way to shut it down. Thanks to our friends at Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Thanks to our friends at DeLuna Coffee. Thanks to Corey Clark. Warchant.com. Hit the thumbs up, folks, on the way out. We certainly would appreciate it. 5-star rating and review. We'll have one more show, practice. Stay connected to Warchant.com. Updates coming over on the website on Thursday morning. Have a great one, everybody. Corey, go rest up that tush.